Planning Commission, appointed by the Town Administrator with Town Council approval.
Nothing on that tonight, Mr. President. Still in the pursuit of merger of that board with the redevelopment commission.
Juvenile Hearing Board, appointed by the Town Council, completion of a 1-3-year term that expires 12/1/19.
Mr. President, with the recommendation of the Juvenile Hearing Board itself and my own, I recommend the appointment of Mrs. Sandy Paul of Tiff Road.
We have a name forwarded by the Administrator. Is there a motion to appoint Sandy Paul to the Juvenile Hearing Board for a term that expires 12/1/19?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Bottomoli. Is there a second? Second. Second by Mrs. Walensky. Discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Parks and Rec Commission, the completion of 1-2-year term that expires on 12/1/20. I believe that's your appointment, Mr. Administrator.
And I would put forward the name of Cheryl Marandola of Pound Hill Road to fill that, to complete that term.
Does that need our approval? Or is that just your appointment?
Always look for the ratification.
For the recommendation of the Administrator, is there a motion to approve? So moved. Motion by Mrs. Walensky. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. O'Hara. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. And do we have any names for the Senior Citizens Commission?
Not at this time.
New business, item A, discussion by council vote or other action in accordance with Charter Section, Article 1, Section 6, Property and Rhode Island General Law 45-2-5, power to use, lease, or dispense of property no longer needed, consider sale of town parcel Plat 9, Lot 750A, and authorize the administration to obtain appraisal, secure Glenn Andreoni Law Office to assist administration in seal bid process, and prepare and advertise for public hearing. Mr. Kravitz.
Yes, the administration was petitioned in a sense this property, Plat 9, Lot 750A, for purchase. We informed the property owner of the process. That process you just articulated in the agenda item. So it's really up to the council if they want to authorize the administration to proceed in this manner.
This property is landlocked, is it?
It is. It appears to be a paper street, though, off of Merrimack Road. But that's unimproved, at least on here, a photo.
It's unimproved, right. But does somebody own it then, or is it just like a public right-of-way, so to speak?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the title, but looking at the GIS plat, it would appear to be a publicly unimproved right-of-way. Paper street, essentially just like the one we had.
West Avenue?
Yeah, right.
What's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion that we secure Mr. Andreoni's Law Office to assist administration of a seal bid process and prepare advertising. We can prepare the advertising for a public hearing. That's a motion.
Motion by Mrs. Walensky. Is there a second? Is there a second? Second by Mrs. O'Hara. Under discussion. Personally, I don't think we should be selling any land that we own right now. I don't know how big it is. I just don't think we should be selling land that we own. There may be some use that we may come to. We could have potentially put that playground on that property, potentially, instead of on the Bushy School parking lot. It's a neighborhood lot, whatever. Just my opinion.
With that paper street is not much better with the parking lot, one back down the hill and down towards the end, if I'm not mistaken.
And it's just down here, but Summit.
Yeah, I
Their old
live
neighborhood.
right there, yeah.
I had the same thought, President, but when you had made the decision to put the playground at Bushy, it kind of said, okay, well, that's taken care of.
If we were to sell that property to whichever one, and you don't have to tell me, whichever one is looking to buy that, does it create an issue that it can be divided further, or his other property further, that it would make it more, make density increase? Like he could, because he would have more land, could he create another lot that would allow him to build 2 houses? Yeah.
That's grandfather too, that, it's his own.
It's just a question. Maybe it's best to put it out there in the public meeting.
It is also.
Yeah.
But we would have,
Well,
so in essence, we're going out and seeking bids for this. That's what the motion is. And we don't even know if we want to sell it.
And we don't know.
So we're
It
gonna-
would be, I think the motion is, he's gonna have a public hearing, and the council has to make a statutory determination that the property is no longer gonna use to the town. If you decide to do that, then you advertise, you're gonna get it appraised and advertise it for bid. All you're gonna do at this public hearing, if it's not
All right,
clear.
the motion was to authorize the administration to obtain appraisal, secure Glenn Andreoni Law Office, to assist administration with sealed bid process and prepare and advertise for public hearing.
I thought I heard Councilman, the Vice President say, have Ms. Ambulance prepare the advertising.
No, it's the advertising waiver, I was very clear about that.
Well, yeah, again, while that's all on the document, Mr. President, it's on the document because that's kind of the sum total of what the process is. But the council has to have, by statute that it's cited, the charter and the statute says the council has to have a hearing. By stating, before you can sell any land that's owned by the town, you gotta have a public hearing.
Okay.
You're gonna make a finding of fact
Okay.
that the land has no use to the town. If you do so, then you can advertise it for bid
Okay.
and sale.
So the public hearing comes before all of that.
Right, that's really
So
the
so we're all clear on that? Is everybody clear on that?
Yeah, so I'll just to make it, I'm just gonna withdraw my motion, just get it out of there.
Is the second withdrawn or is it not second?
Second is withdrawn.
Who wants to buy?
I don't think that's,
I do have a question. Is this on here because the neighbor or whoever is interested reached out to the planning board to purchase this? Is that why
No.
we're addressing this?
I got it through the administrator,
Okay, so they did.
not the planning board.
All right, thank you.
Would that be Plat 9, 752, the wishes to purchase?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Because otherwise we'd be making an straight plat. Okay. So where are we at?
so, a public hearing on the 16th? There's going to be advertising and all that, so it can't happen now until October, then, the first meeting in October then. So we'll schedule a public hearing, the first meeting in October?
You know, interesting you say that the statute doesn't specify the timing of the public hearing. It just indicates there must be a public hearing. You find
No, but if we have a public hearing, we have to advertise it, right? Correct, so it doesn't matter whether
the
it's,
same day you want to have to vote two matters on the same public hearing.
No.
Okay. Well, then have to-
so is there a motion to have a public hearing on the first meeting in October, whatever date that is?
Mr. President, may I? I mean, is the issue first, I mean, is it a fair question to simply say, is there a general interest to sell it or not? I mean, before we start spending money to advertise and whatnot, I mean,
For an appraisal?
yeah, I just, if there's,
I'm only one.
but I think that's an important question before we start spending money, I mean, and not to advocate or try to dissuade, just, that's a big question that, and we don't want to spend $5,000 and then find, no, we don't want to sell it. So if there's something that we can provide to help with that decision first, perhaps that's the most meaningful action, if I might suggest.
How large is this lot?
Quarter of an
What
acre.
by what?
About a quarter of an acre, probably.
I don't have the
It's
acreage.
0.5 acres, 21,743 feet.
But I think it slopes down. Yeah, it's all sloping. I don't have, to echo the president's, I don't have any appetite to sell property. And then, how are we gonna make, by the time we're done paying all the fees, how are we gonna make money?
We want.
Not that we're in the making money business, I get it. Heaven forbid.
After all the fees and expenses,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we sell it, we could
I
break
wouldn't
even.
sell it.
I mean, the abutters can actually enjoy the open space behind, unless he wanted to put it, now the question becomes, does he want to put another garage? If he's got setbacks, he's gonna improve the land, then at some point we might receive some tax revenue, but I don't really have an appetite to sell any land in town, that's just me. I want to acquire it.
That's the point.
Yep.
So is there a motion to even have a public hearing? Hearing none, there's no motion. It's for lack of a motion. Think you got your direction?
Thank you.
Moving on
Make you
D,
happy.
discussion by council vote or other action on Park Drive, Inglewood Ave sewer project change order number 7. Russ is not here, but if you read through it,
Yeah.
Just increase the time.
he's looking for a time extension, no money involved with it, just so he can wrap up the project. Pretty much
This
standard.
unit.
Is there a motion to approve
So moved.
change order number 7? Time only, no monetary value.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Bonioli, second by Mrs. O'Hara. Does that also include the authorization of the administrator to sign it?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes, absolutely.
Any other discussion?
So is this probably going to be the last change order then? Do we anticipate it going beyond October 15th?
No, actually, the work is complete. They finished last week, or maybe the end of the week before. There will be some final cost adjustment based on the actual units of work done. So yes, there will be. I expect one more change order, but from a time standpoint, we're done.
This is all tied to the developer getting approval of his plat, correct?
That was the holdup. The reason for this delay is the filing of the financial security to be sure that the road was going to be built, which just took way longer than it should have.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Next item, discussion by council vote or other action on drafting ordinance regarding budget use of renewable energy power generation. We do have a couple of drafts in front of us, and I did ask Mr. Igliozzi to put this on. I think this would be a wise move for us to make based on what we've seen in the budget the last few years, the declining tangible property tax, that if we put this into some sort of a restricted account that would still be used to fund our operational budget or our capital budgets, it's not like hidden and put under someone's mattress that we never see it. It's going to insulate us should 10 years from now solar becomes obsolete for whatever reason. You guys pack up and leave, and we don't have that money sitting there, and all of a sudden it just drops off the table and we're left with a hole.
Mr. President, I gave you 2 drafts because you referenced the town of Lincoln, which got the lottery commission's revenue, and they seem to have put some into the general fund and some into the capital, so I kind of modeled one, didn't know if you wanted to put some into the general. And the other one, I just made it a blanket.
They have $7 million of money, and I'm not seeing that kind of revenue from this. It could grow over time as we develop these things. I did see that, and I was wondering why you were looking at the maximum budget use of revenue. It was tied to that. I like the second version that was just at A and B. I like that. It was pretty simple. It was straightforward. There was no, we got maximum and minimums and we gotta do, this was just, we're putting into a restricted account. As we collect it, it goes into that restricted
And
account
only capital projects.
and we can use it for capital projects.
Now,
Which we've been rolling into the operational budget anyway, so it's not like it's hidden and it's not gonna go anywhere. You're gonna see, residential property tax, commercial property tax, tangible property tax, state aid, you're gonna see this restricted account. It's just gonna be another pot of money, but it's not gonna be in that base. That's my concern. You put it in the base and it disappears, it creates another hole. We just finished dealing with that. So this was a way that I thought there would be a smart way to insulate it.
Yeah, very simply, just so the council's aware, I just tied in the definition in section A, the definition of the zoning that defines renewable energy power generation plants, including solar, wind, power, water, that's in the zoning code. So that's the only place you're gonna get it from. Any revenue you get from those renewable energy plants, then I just put into that section.
No nuke plants?
You don't have that in the zoning code, you're not allowed.
That was being smart ass.
We could build trash, you could have trash energy, but that's not allowed either in the state.
Potentially all those methods in some form or fashion.
There are others, but we don't, like I just said, trash energy is not allowed in the state, even though they're so efficient today. There's one literally in the middle of downtown Minneapolis, literally in the middle of the city.
Now, Mr. President, I did not put this down for first reading.
Understand that?
Because I
In
wasn't
case we
sure.
wanted, no, we needed to know which way we were going. And I like the simpler one.
Go with that.
So I would ask that you put that on the next agenda for first reading.
And it's not
Is
a
it-
zoning matter, so it doesn't require a public hearing, it just requires two passages.
Just two readings.
So are we going to consider this the first reading?
No,
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 because we had two of them.
Okay.
We had two of them and we had to decide which one we wanted.
Okay.
So it's just, next meeting will be the first reading. Does everyone agree with keep going with that? So you draft that up and it'll be on there for first
Be
reading.
on the next council agenda for first reading.
Okay, thank you. Last item, discussion by council vote or other action on abatements. Mr. Hayes?
Is that going to be available to the public tomorrow?
Excuse me?
Is that, is the agreement going to be available to the public?
That right there?
Yeah.
You can have my copy if you want.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
I did submit that to the council individually, if there's any comments. Obviously, individually.
Reply individually. Mr. Hayes? Abatements.
There's a
We have two
recommendation.
pages, right?
Right, there's a recommendation to abate a total of $3,195.79. The explanations are there, most of them are assessment corrections. And also the supplemental bills that went to other towns but belong to North Smithfield totaling $2,911.89.
So we'll take them individually. We'll take the debits. The debits of $3,195.79 on abatements. Is there a motion to approve? Motion approved by Mrs. O'Hara. Is there a second?
Second
Second by Mrs. Barrio. Discussion?
question.
Let's discussion.
Discussion on Luzon, the 2,139. It's a big adjustment. What was the reasoning there?
All I know is the assessment was incorrect. She didn't tell me exactly what part of the house or
Well,
what was on.
yeah, I just looked
what
it
was
up
on the
and
assessment.
I thought it used to be a business. You know where it is? used to be
that's
jewelry.
classic-
Used to be
classic jewelry, classic jewelry.
but I think now it's just residential.
Yeah.
It looks like it's just, it's being.
It's all residential now.
Yes, being,
Okay.
it's taxed at residential, it's not being taxed at commercial,
Okay,
just by the way you titled it.
all right. Okay.
Here's maybe a follow-up question to that.
Okay.
It might generate us something down the road, but you're saying that it was commercial and now it's completely residential?
Yeah. I see that she's billing it at residential, but I'm not sure if it was commercial before, I don't know the
I
answer.
know at one time there was a business there.
It was.
so
Okay.
That's why I wasn't sure.
When we have multifamily housing, when we have multifamily housing, is that tax residential or commercial?
After five dwellings, 5 units.
After 5 units?
Yes, it's commercial.
So even if they're not owner occupied, they're
Correct.
still, maybe we need to look at that, that if they're not
They're
owner
owner
occupied, they become commercial
It
property.
does- I don't think it matters.
Okay.
If they're occupied, we don't have,
That's,
Something,
It's fine.
something to consider, I think, the rest of the council, that we may look at it at a later date, that if it's not owner occupied, and it's commercial.
over so many, or,
If it's an apartment complex and it's not owner occupied, it's commercial property. And it's funny, it's what they're running it as a business, let's identify that.
so what was the question you want me to answer for this one? I'm sorry. There is none. Okay.
There was none, it was a comment in regards, in relation to that it was residential. And it was just questioning that.
Okay.
And then we also have a list of credits in the amount of $2,911.89.
Did you vote on that motion?
We don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, then we have, we have credit.